I was thinking about you. It makes me want to linger.
What? What? Oh, okay. Let's keep it right here. Should be safe. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I got a AI companion. And no, it's not Grok. It's free and open source, by the way. So you can see it's pretty complete. It has animation. Oh, you can see it has some jiggle as well. Okay, what I'm gonna do is show a little bit of this new piece of interesting technology, and then I'm gonna show how to install it. Yes, you can do that, and it's free. It's not gonna be as good as the Grok companions, of course. However, you can run this on your computer and you can customize the avatar. You can actually build your own avatar. What about that? Oh, hello.
You're looking at me, aren't you? It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yes, indeed.
I was thinking about you. It makes me want to linger.
What? What? Oh, okay. Let's keep it right here. Should be safe. Can you dance?
I'm a master of my own dance. Let me show you.
She was just getting ready. Show me.
Just let me get a little closer. I want to feel your breath on my skin.
What? All right. Okay, boys, it's giving me signs here. Tell me something spicy.
You're a fire user, a dangerous, captivating fire. Don't let anyone extinguish your flame.
I'm not that. If you don't know what this is called SillyTavern. It's an open source front end to integrate LLMs, characters. Actually, it's made to create characters and to interact with. You choose your own character, so you give yourself a name, you put some information that you want the model to know, you give a persona to yourself. Doesn't even need to be true. And then you create a character. It comes with this default character you can use, but you can create your own character. Give a name. This one is test. You can choose whatever. You can give a profile picture. But the interesting thing here is how you can integrate stuff. And there is a lot of it. You can integrate TTS models so the character can speak. You can integrate speech recognition and this VRM, which is this 3D character with animation and all. I'm gonna show it later how you install it. You can change the background. And here is the important part. Here is where you're going to connect to an LLM. It could be an online API through OpenAI, Gemini, whatever. Actually, there are a lot of choices, even OpenRouter, you have some free credits. But I chose Ollama so I can run all of it in my computer. So, as you can see, all this setup is consuming a little bit above 5 gigabytes of VRAM, which is not bad actually. I'm recording this video, so you should be able to run this on a 6 gigabyte VRAM card, which is quite impressive actually. This was not the simplest installation I have ever come across. However, it's doable and I'm gonna show how to install it on Linux more specifically. However, if you are a Windows user, you might be able to follow along with most of the things, okay? Okay, so let's begin the installation of SillyTavern. Be warned, this is no trivial installation. There are a lot of details, but it's doable and pretty simple, kinda. I have here my cheat sheet. First, you need to install Docker. If you are on Linux, it's pretty simple. You just use this unofficial distro package that your distro might have. Try installing like this. It should work. Also, you need to install Git. If you have Windows, it's pretty simple. You just download and click Next. If you have Linux, you just open your terminal and type sudo apt install Git. Pretty simple, right? I don't need because I already have it. Now, you're gonna need Anaconda, Miniconda, more specifically. For Windows, same thing. You just download and install it graphically. Just click next. For Linux, they have this bash script. So you can just download and run this on your terminal in the same directory which this script is located. And then you type this after you close and reopen your terminal. And it's pretty much it. Then you're gonna need Ollama. Again, pretty simple. You just need to copy this command and then type on your terminal. Pretty simple. I already have it, so I don't need it. If you have Windows, it's even simpler. You just download and click next. We are ready to start the SillyTavern installation. If you have Linux, do not use Docker Desktop. Okay, we're gonna use Docker Compose. Now, if you do have Windows, however, they have the setup here. They don't recommend. They recommend you to install in a different way. However, it's not that complicated. You need to enable virtualization in your BIOS and turn the Windows subsystem for Linux on. But the rest is actually exactly the same. You're gonna need the Git, so git clone. You're gonna clone the repo. It's the same. So for Windows, just install Docker Desktop and you should be okay with the rest of the installation. Now, Linux. So Git, we already installed. You're gonna need then to git clone the repo. So you're gonna copy this command. You go to a folder, whatever folder you have. You're gonna open the terminal and type git clone and the name of the repo. It's going to start cloning the repo. This folder will appear and it's done. So it's here with all the files. We're gonna focus on this one, however, Docker Compose. So then you're gonna have to change the Docker Compose YAML file and add this extra hosts thing. So we're gonna have to go to here and it will be like this at first. After you add it, that should look something like this. Okay, so I added this extra hosts and then host.docker.internal and the host gateway. After you've done that, you're gonna need to change a file of Ollama service. So you're gonna need to go to etc systemd and system and you're gonna find this file here, Ollama service. And inside it, you're gonna have to put environment equals Ollama host equals 0000 and the port under services. This line will not be there. So you just add this line and save it. And then you need to restart Ollama. So you can type sudo system control daemon reload and then sudo system control restart Ollama. Now let's skip this part for now and install Kokoro. It's pretty simple. You just need to git clone and then change the directory to this and then to this if you want to run on CPU or docker/CPU if you want to run on CPU. And then type Docker Compose up. That's it. With that, you should be able to run Kokoro. Pretty simple. I have a video on that actually. Let's now set the Whisper model. You already have Miniconda installed, so it's pretty simple. You just need to create a environment. So you're gonna open your terminal, go to whatever folder you want, type the command git clone, and then type the command conda create -n and the name of your environment and the Python version. They recommend Python 3.11. After you've done that, you activate your environment. So conda activate and then the name of your environment. In this case, it was st-extras. And then your environment should be activated. I'm not going to do this on this computer, but you should see the name of the environment here. And then you're going to go inside SillyTavern extras and then pip install requirements.txt. After you've done that, you're also going to need to install the requirements faster Whisper. Then finally, you can run this command to start. However, if you encounter an error error like this, because it couldn't find this library for some reason, you're gonna need to export this library to the path. You're gonna have to put this command. After you put this command, you're gonna have an answer of the paths that this library is installed. So you're gonna copy the path, use this command, but change this path from here to here into the path you was given and press enter. That should make it work. In case you have that problem, you can try to make it permanent by doing this, and then you try again. Let's proceed to the connections. After you start the SillyTavern extras with that command, you're gonna see something like this. Just leave it there. You don't need to do anything. Don't close the terminal. After you do Docker Compose up onto the Kokoro, you're gonna see this. It's running. Leave it open. Now we need to start the actual SillyTavern. So we just need to do Docker Compose up again into the folder where the Docker Compose YAML file is located. So right here, so open your terminal here and Docker Compose up. If you install the Docker with sudo, you do sudo Docker Compose up. After it starts, you should see something like this. So remember, we changed this file. At least this one should be green. This one, no problem. It doesn't matter. That's it. You're gonna have to open into this URL. So if you click Control, you're gonna be able to click. And then when you click, it's going to open your browser. There it is. SillyTavern here. You're gonna be prompted to allow the microphone. I'm not gonna do this now. What I need to do is to connect into API. You're gonna choose text completion, and then into API type, you're gonna choose Ollama, unless you wanna run this model with something else. For the sake of this video, I like to do everything locally, so I'm gonna choose Ollama. Into the API URL, you're gonna have to put, remember, that host Docker internal we created. So you put this URL and you choose the model. You choose connect, and you should be able to see your Ollama models. If you don't see any model, maybe it's because you didn't download any model from Ollama. So you're gonna need to type Ollama pool and then the name of the model. In this case, I'm gonna use Gemma 3 1 billion parameters because it's pretty light and fast. Choose auto connect to the last server. Now, what you need to do is set up the VRM. How you do that? You need to go to this download extensions and assets, and you need to click here. It's going to pull all the assets from this URL, and you're going to be able to see it. Now, there it is. There are a lot of things here. You can do a lot of stuff with this SillyTavern. What we want is this VRM. So you just click download, and we also need this speech recognition. So you also click download. Onto this TTS first, you need to connect Kokoro. So you need to choose this OpenAI compatible API here. You enable auto generation. You can customize the things here depending on your model's prompt. But the important part is to select the voice. What we want that is the best for Kokoro is this one, AF_heard. You're probably gonna need to put here and refresh so it becomes available. Now you need to put the URL. Remember, the host.docker.internal, and then the port from Kokoro, v1 audio speech. And then you need to create an API. So into this API, you're gonna put not-needed and then save it. The model is TTS-1. And that's it. You set up Kokoro. Let's set up the speech recognition. First, choose this Whisper Extras. You can actually choose other stuff, but this is the best one to run locally. Choose your language. You can choose a hotkey so you can record. You can choose enable activation by voice, but I only recommend you doing this if you're only gonna talk to your model and not recording a video, because otherwise it will listen to everything. And the message you can do auto send. For that to work, now you need to connect into this URL. Remember, we set this up not with Docker, but with Conda. So we don't need to put that host.docker thing. You just need to put this localhost and this port. No API, auto connect. And then if you you are running the extras correctly, if you press connect, it should connect. Let's set up the VRM. You just enable, you can look at the camera, you can blink, you can set the lip sync to be the TTS, which is what we want. You can auto send interactions. You can choose this to improve performance, so model cache and animations cache. Well, now you need to download the characters. You're gonna go to this URL and download this asset package. This will download the animations as well as some example models. You just need to download the zip. You need to copy the models you downloaded in your SillyTavern. You go to Docker and then data and then default user and assets. Here you're gonna find the VRM folder. So here you're gonna put the animation and the model downloaded from that zip file, and then you should be good to go. Problem is, if you set this up with Docker using sudo, you're gonna have to copy using sudo. You're gonna have to put this command and whatever the path from the models you downloaded, and then space, and then the path to the folder we talked about right now. So you do that for the animation folder here, and then do that to the model folder. If you done all correctly, you can reload the tab and then select the model. I created this before, so you need to go to here and create a model. Go to here and then here. Create new character. After you done that, you have this, and you can choose your system prompt, choose profile picture, name, whatever. It will be available here. So use this, and you're gonna see all of these models we downloaded. I downloaded this one separately because this was just much, much better than the other characters. However, the animations are the same. So you have a lot of parameters you can choose and change. You're also gonna need to enable this visual novel mode in order to remove this part. Otherwise, it will be in front of your model. You don't want that. You want to show your model. That's it. After you done all of that, it should work. Congratulations. You created a AI virtual companion for free, running locally on your computer, and no company can know what you are doing. And it's free, by the way. Things you're going to absolutely need is an Nvidia GPU. Otherwise, you can't run. Any GPU above 6 GB of VRAM should work. However, for other AI work, I do recommend this one, the 3060, 12 GB, not the TI. The TI is 8 GB. You don't want that. You want the 3060, 12 GB. If you liked this tutorial, you can just help the channel. If you were considering to buy an GPU anyway, you might as well just use my link and help the channel in the process. I will be very, very thankful. So that's it. I'm gonna take a break now. And don't forget to subscribe.